Greetings in the name of Yahuwah and his son Yahusha Mashiach. My name is Malak Shalomo. Today is the 11th of, it's the 11th of June 2024. It's 8:27 p.m. I'm going to do like a little technical analysis and trade setup for tomorrow, the 12th. Tomorrow is going to be the FOMC meeting, and so he's going to announce whether he's going to raise rates, not raise rates, or I guess not mention it at all. You know what I'm saying? So let's see here. This is on the daily chart right now. Let's make this bigger. We do. All right. So basically there's nothing really to analyze really. It's either we're gonna break out or we're gonna just pull back, right? So if we pull back into the range, there's VWAP, the monthly VWAP right there. And that's the first stop, right? Then there's the lowest point of point of support, and that's at the coinciding with the lower VWAP band, the first lower deviation, right? So any pullbacks, or maybe we could shoot up to the second upper deviation right here. As you can see, we get some reactions at that level to pull back. So maybe we shoot above and pull back, right? So those are all little scenarios that could happen for the meeting. Let me see. This upper deviation is at 54, 21, 53. All right. So let's see here. Let's throw on some pivots. This was something I was noticing as well. So these are the monthly levels. And let me just point some out here. Let me just focus in on this here. Right now, when it comes to the floor pivots in an uptrend, let's say it's the daily, the weekly, or the monthly, on these in an uptrend where the floor pivots are concerned. Floor pivot R1, which is this copper line right here, this is always the target, right? This is always the first target for an uptrend or a bullish move where the floor pivots are concerned, right? Now, this is the top central pivot for the month. This was in March, right? And we got a touch of the top central pivot. We came up here. This is Camarilla R3. And actually, my bad. So this is floor pivot R1. This is floor pivot R2, right? So the first target is always floor pivot R1. Camarillas are like either a resistance level or a breakout level. Now, if we're going bullish, you're supposed to get above Camarilla R3, and these are the targets like Camarilla R4 and beyond Camarilla R5 and stuff like that. So let's see here. The last time we hit floor pivot R1 was on, let's see here. Or the last time we hit it was in March 8th. Then we had a pullback. Then March 14th had a pullback, and then we shot up to floor pivot R2 and Camarilla R4 on March 21st. Now, since then, we haven't touched that level at all, right? So this is April here. This is the month of April. The bullish trend ceased. This is the central pivot there. We got resistance there, sold off to floor pivot S1, right? And floor pivot S2. So we touched those levels there. That was a bearish move, right? So let's see here. Take this off. Now hold on. Now in the month of May, right? Even though we got this reversal in the month of May, we did not get up to floor pivot R1. Well, did we? Hold on. Yep, that's Camarilla R4 right there. So this is floor pivot R1 right here, right? That was floor pivot R1 in May. So we touched the central pivots right there. Green, blue, red. Ran through those. came up here, hit this level here. That's Camarilla R4. Actually, this red line right here. So this is the bottom central, which is the top central is kind of flipped right now, that red line. This central line is the blue line, and that green line right there, that's the central pivot range, right? So that's the bottom central is just flipped. This first red line right here, that's Camarilla R3. We broke out of that, came to Camarilla R4, but we still didn't get the first target of floor pivot R1, right? We started to move sideways, moving into this month, right? So now floor pivot R1 is at 54, 51, 25. So if we're gonna get an uptrust, I'm thinking if we're gonna continue the uptrend, we gotta at least hit this level, right? So that's a potential level right now that I'm looking at. All right, let's go down to, let me switch over to the weekly pivots and go down to the 1 hour chart. Right, so let me put the week in focus. This has been the week so far. Right, so on the weekly levels, this is floor pivot R1. That's our first target, 54, 20, 25. Now floor pivot R2 on the weekly is kind of coinciding with the floor pivot R1, just a little short of that, I guess. So all around this area here is like the first target for upside move, right? So floor pivot R1, 54, 20, 25. And this is also weekly Camarilla R3 at 53.94. That's first resistance right there, right? So let me just open this up a little bit. Right, so basically all we're looking to do is see where levels are getting broken. Well, from a floor pivot and Camarilla pivot level kind of trader that I am, this is the levels that I'm looking at, right, for resistance. Right now we're up in a heavy resistance zone. We had this big buying coming in here today, and you see where we stopped, right? So we stopped at the monthly Camarilla R3, right? And this is weekly R3. We didn't get to that. So I was telling I remember I mentioned this in the chat from premium tier traders, premium tier futures. I was mentioning that this is a heavy resistance area. Even though we got all this bullish move from a nice spring, I think we would stop here, and we did stop here, right? And I have that labeled as my copper top zone because monthly Camarilla R3, and I think it was a daily level of a Camarilla R3 as well, right? So they were all they were all right here, just a stop price, right? So we have this double top here from last week. Then we have this retest of it a little higher. Still staying above this central pivot right here at 53, 29, 25. So this is the thing I noticed kind of like on when these FOMC meetings come out, or when major news comes out. If we come out around, let's say, a resistance level like this is an opportune time for it to spike into these resistance levels and then fade, right? So a little pop up and then a move straight back down, right? Because you know how violent these FOMC meetings and stuff like that could get. So I'm looking out for that. I'm being mindful of that. Although I'm still kind of more on the bullish side for looking for like a uptrust up to these levels here, and maybe a touch of this this second upper deviation band right here, at least a touch of maybe R1, right? So let's see, on a measured move from the base here, to where we're at, roughly 53.50, and then from here $53.50, that would lead us up to 54.41.25. So if we do get some like a kind of measured move from today with like strong buyers coming in, then it's all around this area. This is just this general area here I'm looking at, right? Because everything is kind of coinciding with these levels, right? Measured moves, first, second upper deviation, Camarilla R4, floor pivot R1. So all around this general area is where I'm looking for price to shoot up before it gets some resistance around these levels, right? So that's my bullish kind of thesis on this. And if we do get the rejection, well, it's straight back down to this silver top zone, which incorporates Camarilla S3 on the weekly 53.17.50 and this bottom central pivot at 53.16.25, right? And the week's range here between these levels, between Camarilla R3 and floor pivot, Camarilla S3 is 76.50 points, right? So if we do get a rejection here, it's wide open for us to really come back down, right? Now, let's see here. Let's see how the volume is looking from like the past week, right? So in a case of buyers building a position here, right, at these levels before we make a run up, right? Now, I was saying here, I made this note, multiple resistance levels will need other time frame buyers to push through, right? Now, I haven't seen any indication of other time frame buyers volume wise, right? At these support levels right here, I'm not really seeing other time frame volume. Now right here is where we saw other time frame volume. So they're in play right now, probably slightly backing up price, but they haven't aggressively gotten in at these levels here, right? Like they did here, right? So massive volume here going up, and we created this little uptrend right there. So maybe they're just slightly propping up price here as we pull back, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So yeah, that's basically it. Just looking for this pop up here now on the 5-minute chart on these daily Camarilla and floor pivot levels. Let's see here. So on the Camarillas, we have it's an overlapping higher value day. This is Camarilla R3 right now. We're already above it. And no, my bad. Let me just make some adjustments here. Haven't made no adjustments yet, so y'all will see this in real time. All right, hold on. Let's see. Camarilla S3 is now here, and let's see what kind of level. This was Camarilla R3 before. So we have a overlapping higher value, right? So let me just, where is it? Right, so overlapping higher value is labeled correctly, and right. So this is labeled correctly as overlapping higher value, and let's see here. Looking at the central pivot, so we have a golden pivot zone here with the central pivot at 53.68.25, Camarilla S3 at 53.69.75, right? So label that my golden pivot zone right here, this range. It's also coinciding with this test of supply, so that's our support for the day, right? So if we do, let's see, take this off. So if we're coming down here, this is my support area, looking for buys around this area here, right? Let's see. Now if we continue bullish, and let's see if we get up to Camarilla R3 tonight, we'll be at the top of the copper top zone. We would have broken out from this monthly Camarilla R3, and as you can see, that's creating that resistance right there. Let me just open it up so you can see that. Right, so that's monthly Camarilla R3, and that's already creating that resistance. So if we do break out of here tonight in the ETH, I'll be looking maybe for a retest. If we open around this level, a retest and go for the up thrust. And let's see, where is, hold on, let me just, oops, no, don't want to do that. Hold on. Let's see what time this minutes is coming out. Wednesday. Wow, so things are starting at 8:30 a.m. We have core CPI and all this kind of stuff going on. So it's not just the Fed minutes at 2 p.m., the federal funds rate. So we have some early morning news. So, all right. So core CPI at 8:30 a.m. So basically the market is actually opening at 8:30. When we have news like this, this could actually sway the move of the market from 8:30 a.m. So I'll keep that in mind as well. So I'll start looking at where price is from 8:30 a.m. and in this overlapping higher value relationship on the Camarillas is moderately bullish. So this is like floor pivot R1 53.99 25. That's basically my first set of targets right here around Camarilla R3 and floor pivot R1. So it depends on where price opens. If we do open around like around this level here, right, monthly Camarilla R3, then we could get like a retest, maybe a go retest, and then get that long right there. So that would be let's see what kind of move is that. So basically a 11-point move for this kind of play right here. Let's see, and that's basically what I'm seeing right now. I'm not seeing anything else. If we do come down to these levels, we have the market profile value area high. That's an overlapping higher value day, so moderately bullish on that. This could be a this could be a retest level as well. That's another long for me. I would go long off of a retest and support off of this and back up to yesterday's high 53.8625 and beyond, right? So that play would be roughly a 9-point move, 9 to 10 point, 9.75 points, right? So another kind of 10-point move right there. So we'll see how that's working out. And also you could see with this first upper deviation here, the way the trajectory of it is kind of leading up to somewhere around this level. Right, and probably a little higher. So I hope you could see that right there. Let me just do that again. So all these little technicals I'll look at, you know what I'm saying? So this first upper deviation here, although this is going to reset, right? But just looking at it from this perspective, it has the trajectory of this. Now, price could come down here overnight, run into that and the value area high, and that's how we could get the push up in the morning. So when CPI comes out 8:30, wherever prices, that's where I'll be looking for where prices is possibly going to get support to kind of gauge what could possibly happen to create like a strategy, you know what I'm saying? And also if we do get that really deep selling, we could come down here to the golden pivot zone and everything would be wide open from Camarilla S3 back up to yesterday's high. That's a 16-point move, right? So that's even better from a bullish perspective, right? So yeah, that's basically kind of the stuff I'm looking at. That's how I kind of break down my technicals on the daily, like especially like the day before, and then when the open happens, that's when I make decisions on where I want to narrow down what kind of strategy I'm looking at. All right, y'all. So that's my little technical analysis breakdown for the FOMC tomorrow. And I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow, man. Y'all trade safe and stay blessed. I think I might do like some live trading tomorrow, so you might get another live video when that comes out. Probably starting at 8:30. All right, y'all. Trade safe and stay blessed.